2024 was bad. Here's why. Before we begin, I do want to make it clear that this video isn't meant to just be me ranting about how bad the year was, or trauma dumping rather, because I'm a private person and I really don't like to get into stuff that happens behind the scenes because it's best it stays that way. But there will be a happy ending, or as happy of an ending as there can be. And the reason I'm uploading this on December 31st is in part because I want to leave all of this behind in 2024, and there's just a lot of stuff that I really would rather forget about. This year isn't completely beyond redemption, but it is definitely one of the worst years that I've ever had to live through. We thought 2020 was bad. 2020 looks like 2016 compared to this year. So the year started off like every other year. Your standard stuff. The weather was cold. You had to get out of Christmas break mode really fast. And so all that stuff was a nightmare, to say the least. But things didn't get really interesting until March, which was when I did a little tech work for a musical we did at school, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. I auditioned for it. I didn't get any part, but I still got to do some tech work, which was pretty cool. Then fast forward to May, which is where things take a turn for the worst. It started off fine. I passed my classes. I completed all my finals, all that jazz. I came home for summer break, which was nice. It gave me a little time to disconnect for a while before I had to go back to school. Then on the 19th was when I got news that nobody wants to ever hear. So just a brief recap, there was a person that I'd known. I didn't know her too terribly well, but we would message each other from time to time, and I got the privilege to take her to my last homecoming dance, which I'm forever grateful for. I thought about messaging her just to see how she was doing, and that's when I got the news that, oh, she got into an accident and she passed away, which just, my mind just went, and it just completely shut me down. And it just completely put me in an emotional turmoil for some time. And I didn't really feel motivated to do anything at that time. And to add more insult to injury, some people that I thought were my friends were like, oh, that's really sad, but you need to get over it. Like, firstly, you didn't know her. I did. There's a difference. And I know there are people like, yeah, well, you can't let a person getting killed in an accident take control over you, and you can't be sad about it forever. Like, time's not going to stand still just because one person is gone. Like, this kind of thing happens all the time. And I'll just say this, like, this isn't the type of thing that you're sad about one day and the next day you wake up and you're over it. No, that's not how that works. You learn to cope with it, yes, but the empty void is going to be forever there. In simpler terms, like, you never definitively stop grieving. That is the truth. Anyways, I'm getting off track, but that happened, and there were some people that did stick by my side, and for that, I'm forever grateful for. You know who you are. Then fast forward to August, me and one of my friends went to go see Green Day for the first time on the Saviors tour, and it was really crazy to me, like, because Green Day is my favorite band, for those who don't know, and it's one of his favorite bands too, and we had a really good time. And if you guys want to watch his little recap that he did, I will leave a link to that video in the description. Go check some of his stuff out. He's a really great person, and he's just been there for me through thick and thin. Then around that time was when I went back to school and was starting to get into the new semester and meeting new people, which was fun. I was doing what made me happy. I was in the choir, I was taking art classes. Then I got called to one of the higher-ups' office, and I wasn't really sure why. Like, I don't really ever do anything, and I really just keep to myself most of the time. Apparently people were trying to get me in trouble for stuff that I didn't do, which I'm not going to get into that stuff, but it was just like a hell of a time, and that really didn't make things much better. That was when the Lord stepped in. And I know I don't really talk about my personal views and stuff like that, but I guess it's time to say that I'm a Christian, and I have been starting to get more religious over time. And that was when he told me, like, this is what you need. You don't need all that negative stuff. And he introduced me to a lot of great people. And I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to get too personal, because that's not what this video is about. Then in November, I took part in a little play production, Ben-Hur, which there's some interesting stuff behind it. Like, first it was a book, then it was a movie, then it was a play, and I just thought that was pretty awesome. I was not only a wise man, but Jesus himself. And also during that same month, I took part in a little showcase with the music department, We did a little writer's night where we showed off our songwriting skills and stuff that we wrote, which was pretty awesome. I wrote some songs that probably won't ever get released to the public because I'm not really a fan of them. But for those who don't know, Kim McLean, she wrote songs for artists like Tim McGraw, Jelly Roll, I think, and a bunch of other country artists that you know today. But she doesn't really get mentioned for those songs though, it's more so the artists that she wrote for. But we did a little workshop with her and that's what brought the show to life. And it was just one of my biggest honors, and I highly encourage you to go look her up if you've never heard of her. And lastly, I came home for Christmas to spend time with my family, which is something I don't get to do very often. And so overall, 2024, it wasn't a good year. It wasn't the most horrendous year, but it definitely could have been a lot better. And as much as I didn't like this year, there were still some good moments and highlights that I'll forever cherish. And lastly, if you guys enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's hope 2025 is a better year. With that being said, I will see you all next year.